Hi all, I don't post much, so apologies if this is too long. I've tried to cut it down while keeping all the necessary info in context. When I, 38 male, was 18, I lived in a suburb of southeast Melbourne, Australia, Noble Park. Our house was the odd one out. On a street of 70s/80s brick homes, ours was an Alpine-style weatherboard home with a steep roof built in the early 20th century. It was old, cold, and noisy, and you could see the ground through the gaps in the floorboards. We had a big dog who stayed outside until everyone was home, and then slept outside in a big pen/doghouse at night, mostly in the summer. We also have an indoor cat. The week it happened, I was home alone. Dad was overseas, Mum and Sis were visiting family. What happened? One night when walking home from work, I rounded the corner and noticed a figure standing on our carport roof, looking through a window into one of 3 upstairs bedrooms. The sun was setting, so all I could see was a dark silhouette. I yelled at it from the top of the driveway and it was gone. I remember thinking it odd that my dog didn't bark or notice anything. I went inside, checked the house, the dog, the windows and doors, etc. And everything seemed in place. I assumed I had just seen a shadow from a nearby tree at sunset. The following night I walked home from work and everything seemed normal. I checked all windows and doors, let the dog inside for the evening and eventually put him and myself to bed. My bedroom was upstairs, down the hall from the room next to the carport roof. Before bed I had a routine of shutting all doors in the house, as they were all squeaky, and the drafts would often blow them closed if left open. This night, I closed all doors, checked locks, turned off all the lights and went to sleep. In the middle of the night I was awoken by something, not sure what, but when I came to, focused my eyes and looked around, I saw the hallway light coming in under my door. I thought I turned it off, but perhaps I forgot. Right then, my doorknob started rattling. Like someone was struggling to open the door. I immediately lay back down on my side, facing the wall opposite my bed, and my heart starts beating hard. I hear the door open and close my eyes. I figured if someone is breaking in, I'll pretend I'm asleep and maybe they'll take what they want and leave. I slowly open one eye, the one against the pillow so it's less obvious. I see the light from the hallway on my wall. My bedroom door is fully open. My heart is beating harder. I lay still. I see the digital clock on my CD player and a little after 2:00 am. Then, I hear the door creak again and watch as the light on the wall slowly starts to disappear. The bedroom door is closing. At this point I'm positive we're being robbed, but I continue to pretend I'm asleep. Keeping one eye open, everything is heightened. The loudest noise is my heartbeat, but I try to listen through it and can't hear anything. No breathing, no footsteps, nothing. At this point I begin to feel pressure around both my feet. The blanket is getting tighter around them, and I realize that something is now sitting on the end of my bed. I look at the clock again and it's now a little before 3:00 am. I'm frozen, scared, and have no idea what's happening. At some point I have the idea to slowly readjust my position in bed and move my feet a little to see if something moves or happens. So, I do this, but as I slowly readjust my feet I feel one of them hit something solid. Something is definitely sitting on the end of my bed. I don't know what to do at this point, so I stay still and listen, while looking through one eye at the clock and the bedroom wall. The next thing I remember is hearing the first birds starting to chirp before sunrise. I look at the clock and it's now a little before 6:00 am, and I notice the room is a little brighter. The sun is coming. Shortly after this, I feel the pressure lift from the end of the bed, I hear the bedroom door open, I see the light from the hallway on the wall again, and then the door shuts and the sun starts to rise. I got up shortly after this and checked the whole house. All doors and windows were locked. The dog had slept through the night and nothing from the house was missing. My cat was stuck in the bathroom overnight. He must have followed me in when I brushed my teeth without my noticing. I'm not sure what happened, but I won't forget that night in Noble Park. Long time listen, first time poster. Here's what happened tonight. I just need some sort of explanation or reason. I was riding home going through lanes in the dark, going probably 3 times the speed limit, but to be honest it's a dark long straight butt of road with no one around. I know for a fact no one was around because I just checked my mirrors before I started to go fast, and then I caught a glimpse in my mirror just for a few seconds. There was a really bright light like LED car headlight on full beam, and it was right behind me like it was a passenger on my bike. It was only there for a few seconds, and then all of a sudden I felt the urge to slow down, so I did, and then I followed the road home. I got to the bottom of the hill and built speed back up, and then I saw it again just for a second in my other mirror, then it went again. I pulled into where I parked my bike, sat there for a second, and it felt like someone's hand was on my shoulder and felt like someone was behind me, but I didn't feel scared. I thought about posting this in the Skinwalkers subreddit, but I'm not sure it really fits there. Truth be told, I'm not sure what this was. Maybe a mimic? Ghost? Maybe someone out there can tell me what they think. This happened several years ago. My sister and her husband were going on vacation for a few days and asked me to dog sit for them. They have quite a few dogs. I agreed, as I have dog sat for them a number of times before then and since then. The first night I stayed over that week, their rather elderly yellow lab, Lacey, started to get a little agitated. It was about 10 p.m., and I thought maybe Lacey was nervous because it was close to bedtime and my sister and brother-in-law weren't home. As I mentioned, Lacey was elderly and going blind and deaf, and I thought she might be having some separation anxiety. I tried to reassure her, and I figured that sticking to her usual routine as much as possible would help calm her nerves. She usually slept in their bedroom, so I was trying to coax her in there to go to bed. I said, "Come on, Lacey, go lay down." I said something similar in a calming tone several times. After the final time, I heard a voice repeat back to me, "Go lay down." It was a man's voice and it was crystal clear. It was so clear, in fact, that for a second I thought maybe my sister and her husband had come home early. But then I realized I would have heard the garage door open. They always use the garage instead of the front door to go in and out of the house, plus the other dogs would have lit up with barking/excitement if they had walked in. I looked around and no one was there. Like I said, I have dog sat for them many times, and that is the only time I have ever experienced anything like that. To this day I don't know what it was. I'm not typically a believer in the paranormal, but I can't explain it. Back in like 2023 I think, I was at my cousin's house. One of my cousins was at my house, so I slept in her room. I'm pretty sure it was around 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. I randomly woke up staring at the ceiling. I was wondering WTF is going on because I was still half asleep, then it just hit me where I was. Anyways, I remembered I put my phone under the pillow and decided I might have as well put it on charge and go back to sleep. But I sat up on the bed and started looking around for my phone, but it was dark. Then only thing I could see was the light coming from the door. Long story short, my cousin has a door with a glass window, but they covered the glass with like this paper thing. Anyways, some of the paper on the door was ripped, so only a little bit of the light from the kitchen was shining into the room. But anyways, when I was looking for my phone, I moved a little bit to go and turn the light on, but then froze. I saw this black figure of someone or something staring right at me. I was scared as shit and just kinda sat there for like 4 seconds max. Then I snapped out of it and turned back to the pillow and was literally trying to find my phone. I turned back and the figure started walking downstairs. You know when those mimes/clowns pretend to walk downstairs? That's what it was doing, except at the end of the bed. I finally found my phone, and instead of flashing my torch I got up and ran TF out of that room and woke my cousin up. No one believes me till this day, but I know what I saw. 19 male, Work in the meat department of my local supermarket. I'm basically the poor sucker that shows up after the butchers leave to clean everything up. Knives, trays, floors, tables, the big heavy machinery. 5 days a week I spend several hours alone in the cutting room. I've worked there for a few months and the last few weeks I swear there is a presence in there with me. I keep seeing things out of the corner of my eye. On several occasions I've sworn there was someone standing behind or next to me only to see I'm still alone when I turn. I constantly feel like I'm being watched. There is a security camera for theft, but to my knowledge no one is constantly watching it. Just in general I feel a presence in there. Mainly in the walk-in freezer. The building is old, very old. My grandmother has been shopping at that store for decades before my birth. I don't know of anyone dying there, but they wouldn't exactly tell me if there was. And to my knowledge the only shady thing about that place is a health violation involving worms in the drain. I've done my legal obligation of telling the meat manager. He has not done his legal obligation to do something about it. But what really worries me is what I've been listening to while working. I have a fantasy book series I want to write, and in the several hours I have alone every day I've been doing research by listening to YouTube videos. Mainly about demonology. Hours of it. Rituals, specific figures, demonic accounts. It's all for my book series, but I'm afraid that I've welcomed something into that space. Maybe my mind's just messing with me. But I swear the presence in that cutting room is starting to make me nervous. And the times I've sworn there was someone in there with me were deeply unsettling. It wasn't just someone in the room, they were right there next to me, breathing on me. I want to ask some of the other employees if they've seen anything, but I don't want to seem crazy. Is this normal, and does anyone else have similar experiences?
Bunch of savages in this town.
Like, share, subscribe, and be sure to check the notification bell. Follow the Atomic Shaman on Twitter at Motel and RV Park. Listen to Paranormal Green Text Stories on Atomic Shaman TTS on YouTube. Catch the live streams of Atomic Shaman Sweat Lodge only on Rumble.